Hi, welcome back to Bridal Sewing Techniques, and today I'm finally going to answer this long-awaited request for a video. I'm going to show you how I clean and oil my sewing machines. Are you someone who has experience with a mix of sewing but is looking to get into the bridal sewing niche? This channel is for you. Hit subscribe to become a part of the community. So many of you have messaged me so many times to go a little deeper into describing how I oil my machines and clean my machines, because I pretty much just say I douse them, right? So this is my favorite dispenser. You can pop a little straw out and just use the tip, or you can have the straw in there. This is the Zoom spout. And it can click like this, or you can have the little red lid on it. Either way, I like to keep it full of Lily White sewing machine oil. And here's a little zoomed up picture of the Zoom spout. I do have a link to it on the products page of my website, bridalsewingtechniques.com. So here's my little dirty bird. As you guys know, I keep my machines pretty dirty. I do not clean them every day. I don't use canned air on them. The canned air, I have found, can force the fibers into the smaller places and cause damage eventually, compact things. But it also contains bittering agents, which I am highly, highly allergic to. So basically, I'm just kind of dusting it off, getting the big amounts of dirt off of it. And then I'm going to put my little straw to my Zoom spout down in every little hidey hole I can find. I personally don't even care if it was a hole that was meant to be oiled in. I douse this puppy in oil. So I'm just going to go around. You can see it literally dripping down the needle. I thoroughly saturate my machines so that they're pretty much sitting in a puddle of oil. I'm going to be moving, the little hand crank thing on the sides to move the parts up and down also. So I'm not just going to do it while it's still like this, like what I'm showing you, but I'm just going to go everywhere and just lots and lots of oil, make a big mess. Fun fact, one of my comments one time, this lady she was having a bad day. She took it out on her keyboard in my comment section, and she was just going all down the line about all the things and like how dumb and terrible I was and all this. And her final quote was like, "And oil your machines," caps and exclamation point. And I just thought that was so funny because, as you can see, I like overboard oil my machines. Now, when do I do this? Like I said, I don't clean and oil my machines often. If they start to run a little rough, yes, I'll go ahead and add a few drops along the way. But basically, what I do is when I'm getting ready to go on vacation, I give them this tremendously generous oil bath with the Lily White Sewing Machine oil. Again, this is all linked to on the products page of my website. So if you go to bridalsewingtechniques.com, click on the products page, then you'll find an Amazon purchase link right there. I'll also try to link to them in the video description below. But as you can see, I'm squirting so much on here that you can start to see the debris kind of flow down into the tray of the bottom of this serger. Now, I'm already kind of prepared. The comments section, I know, is going to be like 40% of you like, "This is amazing. Thank you so much," and gratitude and great idea, blah, blah, blah. The rest of it is going to be a dumpster fire. I know what's going to happen. I'm going to have these comments of like, "You're running your machine and this is not the right way," and yada, yada, yada. But please note, like I said in the thumbnail, I am a professional seamstress. And this machine right here has been going for almost 10 years, which it's going to go much longer than that, right? But that serger is a home serger. This one that I'm oiling now is my Juki 5550. You can see the DDL 5550, and there's also a link to that on my products page. But I'm doing all the little dots here on this commercial machine. Commercial machines typically, if they're taken care of any reasonable amount, they'll last a long time. But the Serger, as you saw, was a Janome home serger. And that serger is 20 years old. And this is the way that I take care of it. So, I understand it may kind of freak you guys out. It may seem a little extreme, but it has worked so well for me. And that machine has served me beautifully. So anyways, I'm going to open up this little plate here. And I'm also going to I'm going to unscrew the plate that's right below my my presser foot here. I'm going to take that off and oil all around the feed dogs, the bobbin casing, the whole nine. So here I'm going to take this stuff off to gain access. If you have a hard time loosening the set screw, use a longer screwdriver than what I'm using here. A lot of times, particularly for that back one, I can't get the angle right to really knock it loose. It's working obviously today, but if it's not, go for that longer screwdriver. It makes all the difference in the world, I'm telling you. So I'm gonna just loosen these, pop it off. Just squirt oil all over that mess in there. So the next part of this video, I'm going to show you how I clean it. So the oil, I'm going to let it sit on here for a while so that it can really soak in and start to loosen up the stuff. So I do not use a special cleaning lubricant. I know they have things like that. I don't use it. I only use the Lily White sewing machine oil. And I'm going to move my parts up and down here. I'm going to even get all the shafts covered in oil. Now that dark hole that you see there below my feed dogs, that moving part, that dark hole, underneath it is a pan, and this commercial machine sits in a pan that is full of this oil. Every now and then, if I have to have my machine like deeply serviced, we'll clean that out. But right now I'm going to shut the machine down and hey, let's go to the beach for a week, okay? Here we are at the beach. The machine is soaking. I'm going to do that for about a week and ta-da! Back in the shop. Now I've got my tweezers and I am pulling out the clumps of just fibers that have kind of clumped together. They're on all the horizontal surfaces. You can just really take it right out of there. This oil, if you ever do this, you'll see that there's no stickiness to this oil at all. All of this, the fibers just kind of, I don't know why, but they just gather together when they're soaked in oil, but without a sticky feeling, and they just slide right off of everything. So I'm going to go through with the tweezers, get all the nooks and the crannies. Do not forget the crannies, guys. I'm not sure the difference between a nook and a cranny, but I'm sure you can tell me down in the comments below. Please, if you haven't already, hit subscribe. And I'm going to be sending you all the tips and tricks for running a professional sewing studio. I am a professional seamstress and have been for many years. So the philosophy around here is we all do things differently, right? Nobody does it better than anybody else. I'm just showing you how I do it. So there really is no need to get upset. If you have an established way and you've been sewing for 40 years and it's working great, your machines are humming along, that is fabulous. You can also share those details down in the comments below if you have any tips that you want to share with the BST community here, the Bridal Sewing Techniques community. Now I'm just giving it the old wipe down here. And then the next step that I'm going to do is I'm going to dig out some paint brushes and kind of wipe things down. I'm also going to I'm going to lift up this machine and wipe under the machine very, very thoroughly. And I'm going to sew some scrap fabric through this machine to make sure I just kind of sop up all that extra oil. So I have several different sizes of brushes that I use, and each of them are good for certain little spots, as you can imagine. So here I am back on my Juki commercial straight stitch machine, and I've put the foot back on it, the plates, the needle, and I'm just going to hum along here on some fabric and let this scrap fabric absorb all the extra oil that's going to want to come dripping down. Again, I'm going to wipe everything down. I'm not wiping things down with cleaner at all. I'm going to wipe everything down with oil, and then I'm going to polish all of those surfaces dry so that when I do go back and sew with an actual bridal gown, there's no extra oil sitting around at all. In any of the places that the dress is going to come in contact with. You can see how this fabric is really soaking up the oil there when I change the exposure. Well, I hope this has helped you. Please leave a comment down below. Any questions? Hit that bell to be notified every time I upload. I really appreciate you guys watching. I appreciate your support. Let's just go back to the beach, okay? How does that sound? All right, here comes my channel trailer if you want to learn more about this channel. Bye. I know what you're looking for. You've been sewing for years, but you want to get into full-time bridal sewing. But there's something missing. You're missing the backroom secrets, the industry tips and tricks. The tools, the sources, the techniques that give you the speed and the accuracy that the industry demands. You have found it.